Welcome back, YouTubers, to another WWE vlog in HD with me, Mr. Parkin! And in this corner here, wearing the same colour as me once again because we just recorded the video after the other, it's NJ! What's up? What's up, NJ? What's up to you guys out there? Now today we're going to be continuing our discussion, looking at the feuds that we've got on Smackdown and asking the question, are there enough babyfaces on Smackdown? But before we do, make sure you guys subscribe. I love doing that. Subscribe up above. Like this video, comment your thoughts on what you've seen in this video down below.
And you can contact us in the links in the description box below.
Well said that, man, once again. So we're better to start in this video, really, than the main event. We have Randy Orton as our main face.
Surprise there.
Yes, and it seems before we had Randy Orton and Christian as our two baby faces. Then we had Sheamus and Mark Henry. Mark Henry, which personally we don't really want as our main event heel. As our two main event heels. But now, Christian has turned heel. Seemingly, we've got Randy Orton, who's the babyface, the Ron main event babyface, and we've got seemingly have 3 heels in this main event scene. You know.
The thing I was thinking, the only way I would make this work, because Mark Henry, before he left Raw, you saw him turn
heel.
So I think they shouldn't change him because it's too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, I'm missing someone out for some reason. Christian, because basically he was going to turn heel. It was just everyone's idea. Everyone's thought, right, Christian needs to turn heel.
It's because they wanted him in the main event, and the only way to get him in the main event would have been to turn him heel.
So that's why they did him.
Mm-hmm.
My thought is Sheamus. Like, Sheamus has been a heel for most of his, or pretty much all of his career. And I'm just thinking, if they made him turn babyface, I know people wouldn't see it, but with Smackdown, with not many babyfaces, out of those 3, he's the most likely.
Yeah, because the other 2 have just turned heel.
Yeah, so...
I personally don't really see Sheamus as a babyface, just because he's British and Irish, for example, and he has the look of a heel, and I don't really think WWE can make him a babyface and make him legitimate and make people... I don't think people would like him as a babyface.
But it's not a one-to-one, it's just out of those 3.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, if they did want more babyfaces, it would be him, but...
I know, this is the only thing they could do, but the one thing we have here, right, is why not keep Orton and Christian as your 2 main event babyfaces? Why in the draft didn't they just bring over a guy who could be a top heel on SmackDown? Like a CM Punk...
Well, the thing is, they should not have moved Del Rio. They should not have moved Del Rio.
Well, Del Rio was the top heel on SmackDown, right?
Yes.
I think Del Rio's an odd case because he could have stayed as the top heel on SmackDown, continued his development, but they wanted him on the A show because he's a new star and they want to have him exposure to more people. And
that brings up something else we spoke about on the Raw one. There's Big Show. I know he was in a tag team, but he was a SmackDown main eventer in the past.
Yes.
You saw that, so they kept him as a heel SmackDown main eventer.
To be honest, at the moment, with the lack of credible main event heels, I would have liked it if SmackDown got someone from Raw or kept, someone like a Dolph Ziggler or a Jack Swagger, just so they could give him a kind of push. Even someone like a Drew McIntyre, have him in that main event scene, possibly work his way up. Just someone who could benefit from being a main event heel, rather than someone like Sheamus, who we've seen is not really built up enough. Christian, who could possibly be better as a babyface. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the sad thing I'm seeing is that the WWE seems to see, as we said, Raw as the A show. Yeah. So they're thinking, if we
get the best heels on there,
the more us move there, the higher Raw's going to get.
Yeah.
But then they've left their other show, and I'm thinking, like, we've done our Raw one. We named a lot of wrestlers that should be on SmackDown.
Well, a lot of wrestlers that would benefit more from being on SmackDown.
Yeah, that's what we said. Yeah, and I'm like, now I'm saying, SmackDown's main events are going to be the same for a little while. They're going to be the same.
Well, you look at it now, you've got Randy Orton as the only main event face, so he's going to be in that main event scene
for a while.
For a while, unless they bring back someone like Batista or Jericho, which might possibly happen. But at the moment, it just seems like Orton's at the top. Even if a heel did win the championship, Randy Orton can't really be involved in a secondary championship because they don't really have any other babyfaces they can bring up into that title, which we will discuss later on. But there is a huge problem with SmackDown's main event scene at the moment, a huge problem.
Well, this goes back to, okay, I'm going to bring up one of our old videos that you guys should check out, is...
Shameless plug.
Yeah, a little bit. Is the... Okay.
Go on.
Okay.
Straight face, come on.
The Batista and Jericho one. I used to say that one of them should go to Raw, but now looking at this and talking about it, I'm thinking them 2 should benefit more on SmackDown.
Yeah, although to be honest, Raw could do with a very credible another babyface to go against like a top heel like CM Punk or something. But that's just all for argument. I think they need to concentrate more on SmackDown's main.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking now. Jericho and Batista would benefit more to help SmackDown's ratings and main events. But go on there.
Even though we've seen that WWE doesn't really care too much about SmackDown as it's their B show and they tape it.
Which is why the draft is pretty much
fucked over SmackDown.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about this main event scene?
Is that
your problems with?
I think it's gonna get a bit boring now. For the next couple of weeks, maybe months, we're gonna have the same main events, and I'm not looking forward to that.
To be honest, I think Christian's heel turn was correct because them two are obviously the most credible people. It's just that we need to bring up other credible people to freshen things up, and it doesn't really seem like WWE are going down that way, especially in terms of the faces. In terms of the heels, not so much, but in terms of the faces, there's not another babyface that can really come up and challenge for the title.
Well, this point I'm about to make is going to lead us into our next person.
Well,
on SmackDown, we saw that Cody Rhodes was hinting to come to the main event, and that's another heel that's going to come in, which is okay, but we need a face to come up. Yeah,
I mean, it's good to have Cody Rhodes who's a potential heel, potential not top. I don't think he's a potential top heel, but a potential good upper mid card heel.
Well, WWE are trying to make him a heel, so maybe it's too early to say he's a credible heel, but I think in time that his heel will grow and
Cody Rhodes is one of them guys that it can really benefit from a push. He's kind of getting one now. He's probably probably one of the most credible heels on SmackDown. But he's in a rivalry with Daniel Bryan. Now Daniel Bryan it's seeming like he's the kind of second babyface now because he's not really involved in the main event. But he's been on a bit of a losing streak lately, and now they've kind of put him against Cody Rhodes. Although I think it's a good rivalry, it's more for Cody Rhodes than it is Daniel Bryan, unfortunately.
Daniel Bryan, I look at him and I'm thinking, I can't see a main event Daniel Bryan.
No, neither can I.
I can't see that.
Do you want to know why I can't see it?
Go on.
Because the way WWE do their business nowadays, they don't seem to want one of those... The last person they were ever going to really push as a puerile wrestler was Chris Benoit. And now, I don't think Daniel Bryan has the look, the promo skills, or the entertainment factor, or the it factor that WWE seems to want from main eventers, which is why he's going to be stuck in the mid-card, or the upper mid-card, for example.
And that is true for him, but Cody Rhodes, on the other hand, he's done a lot of tag team work. We'll give him that. He's starting to do single work. Yep. He's doing brilliantly at that, so he is most likely to be the next person to go to the main events.
Definitely. But going back to the question that I proposed at the beginning, now you've got Randy Orton as your main event heel. I wish. Main event face. Is Daniel Bryan a credible second babyface on SmackDown? Because that's seemingly like... It seems to me like him and a couple other people are kind of vying for that second babyface spot. Is he credible enough?
I look at Daniel Bryan and I don't know. I don't see him there.
No, neither do I. Exactly, I agree.
So as much as I was trying to say yes, I just couldn't get it out of my mouth.
We see Cody Rhodes more, but he's going to be a heel, and that just adds another heel into the mix. Unless you get another top babyface in there, I'm afraid it's just going to the main event scene is just going to be very stale. And that's seemingly where it's going to go with Orton in there. And
we've seen Cody Rhodes and Rey Mysterio's work. Are they going to bring up Sin Cara to be like a Rey Mysterio?
Who knows? I mean, they've got him in a rivalry at the moment with Ted DiBiase. It seems like they don't really have a set rivalry for Sin Cara, which is a bit of a shame. But it seems like they're having him against Ted DiBiase. They've both been in matches together. They both interfered in the same matches. Seeing as Daniel Bryan is in a rivalry with Cody Rhodes, I can only see Sin Cara being in a rivalry with Ted DiBiase, especially after the Chavo Guerrero feud seemingly has ended now.
And I'm thinking Sin Cara and Ted DiBiase. I look at that match and thinking Sin Cara's new. You're just going to want to put him over more. Yep. I see WWE mistreating Ted even more now.
Yeah, but the problem with Ted DiBiase now is whoever he goes against as a face, he's going to be considered the worst wrestler, because if you put him against Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan is considered better than Ted. If you put him against Sin Cara, they're pushing Sin Cara to the hilt at the moment. I think they're pushing Sin Cara to the hilt to make him a second babyface to Randy Orton by the end of the year. But that's just my opinion. So whoever he goes against, he's really not going to be a credible enough heel to really win the match, and it's always going to be Cody Rhodes. Especially now, Ted DiBiase is seemingly the assistant to Cody Rhodes, the sort of accomplice like the Miz and A-Rye.
I'm really, really not like what they're doing to Ted.
It's a turning face.
Like on Smackdown, I think they're really mistreating Ted because he was great in Legacy. And Ted DiBiase, I can actually see him. I know not many people can, but I can actually see him maybe in towards the main event. Before they messed him up, I could actually see him towards the main event.
I think they can only do that now if they turn him face.
Which, again, you've seen what Ted's done in the past. It's not easy to see, but it is a good possibility.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, it's the only thing I think that can really give Ted DiBiase some real exposure and some real sort of possible main event time, in my opinion. What about the next person, Ezekiel Jackson? Now he's in a rivalry at the moment with 3 heels, mainly Wade Barrett, but he's also in a rivalry with Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater. Again, Ezekiel Jackson is one of those guys that I don't really think will make it to the main event, because although he's got this sort of Ahmed Johnson muscly look, his promo skills, and it just lets him down. I don't really see him as a second babyface, to be honest.
Ezekiel Jackson, okay.
Wade Barrett more. I really want to see Wade Barrett up there.
I think Wade's going to get up there, but I think he's going to somehow pull Zeke with him.
Yeah.
Because Zeke is not going to stay low. He's not. Cause he's got the look of him. He's got the power, the strength to face main eventers. But I think if Wade goes, Zeke's going with him.
I mean, they wouldn't have turned Ezekiel Jackson babyface if they just had plans to keep him in the mid card.
No.
I don't think, anyway. Looking at Wade Barrett, I know this would be another heel in the main event, but Wade Barrett should be in the main event. Come on.
Should move straight from War to the main event.
The core needs to break up.
They shouldn't be put together.
Exactly, and Wade Barrett needs to be one of those guys that has showcased the fact that he can be a main eventer, and he should be up there now, really. It's
taken him a long time to get up there, but I think this Zeke versus Wade is going to put him up there.
Yeah. Another person I want to talk to you about, Justin Gabriel. Now, I know he's a heel at the moment, but when the core does eventually break up, do you see Justin Gabriel as a face? Because I definitely think Justin Gabriel has the finishing move to be a face, he has the look to be a face, and I think people like him. So he could definitely be a face, which Smackdown needs.
Yeah, I think with him, okay, I'm going to bring up another person with this, the way I see it. I see Heath Slater. If they're not going to release him whenever the release happens, I think he's possibly going to become a face with Justin, and they stay together for a little while longer before maybe they turn and they face each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see 2 things here. I see Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater as a possible face tag team, which would be good for the tag team division. But I do feel that Justin Gabriel is the better competitor than Heath Slater, and if they do it be a tag team, it might obstruct Justin Gabriel's possible rise to, say, a mid-carder or upper mid-carder, because I do feel he has the potential to be a very good mid-carder, maybe even an upper mid-carder. Just someone like Justin Gabriel. I think Wade Barrett will definitely be higher than him, though, just based on his look and his wrestling skill and his promo skills.
I think Justin Gabriel is going to be a better version of Evan Bourne, a better version.
Yep.
I think Evan Bourne, we used to think, he's going to go somewhere,
Well,
and they messed that up.
It did look like he was going to push him at some point, but then they just sort of stopped. He hasn't really done anything. He's only just appeared on TV again, and they haven't really done anything with him since he got back from his injury, which was before WrestleMania.
So I guess that's where they're going to stop with him for a while. Maybe try and put him back up, but it's Justin Gabriel that I think is going to probably go better than Evan.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So when the core does finally break up, we could potentially get a main event heel out of Wade Barrett and potentially a face tag team or even face mid-carders out of Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater.
That's true, yeah.
So which will be a good thing for SmackDown, if they do that, of course. What about Kane? Kane is one of 5 main baby faces on SmackDown. Now, although he's a babyface, we've got to accept the fact that he's a babyface. But also on the heel side, you have Khali and Jinder Mahal. Khali has just made a heel turn, thanks to Jinder Mahal, which is probably best for his character.
It is.
But one thing we're seeing here on this list is we're seeing 5 faces and about 10 heels. Just doesn't balance out correctly, does it?
No. And I'm like, as much as I don't want to admit it, they had to have Kane as a face.
Yeah.
It hurts me to say because I think Kane's better as a heel.
Oh, definitely.
So now I'm seeing him with a rivalry with Khali. We've seen it before, but they actually do try and work well together. So I'm saying that this is going to help both Kane and Khali. Kane should not have left the main event, which I don't like. That he was up in the main event. Now he's been dropped back down.
Yeah.
Khali, he used to be in the main event, but he got dropped down real fast.
Oh yeah, but to be honest, I don't like his fact that he doesn't have any wrestling skill to be in the main event, to be honest, and he can't really cut promos, which is why he needs a mouthpiece.
Well, he's got the look of the main event. He's got the build and all that.
He's got the main event. He's got the main event big heel type, like Big Show kind of look. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking the WWE. I really want to be positive about Kane being a heel, but
it's not.
He's not happening. I just don't like that. Really don't like that. But with what the SmackDown have done, they've messed up through the draft, through their picking of main eventers.
So we've seen quite a lot of big problems now on SmackDown from what we've talked about.
Yes, we have.
One of your big problems, because you're a Kane fan, is Kane being face.
That's one. Wade, I have a big problem with Wade.
Yeah.
Zeke, he's going to get there, so I don't care. So it's mainly Wade and Kane.
But Kane is, he needs to be a face at the moment because they don't have enough faces, and that's just why they've done it. Which brings us to our overall points. SmackDown have no credible heels in the main event, yet they have too many heels on their program. And after we've seen Carly and Christian heel turns, there's not really enough baby faces, is there? Especially in that main event scene. Not enough baby faces at all, which is the point we're trying to make in this video.
It is, and
it's a shame.
I really can't see what the W are going to come up with to make this work. I don't see.
There seems to be such an imbalance there with all the heels. They got your 10 heels and 5 baby faces, and you got the undercarders as well. But it just seems like there's a huge imbalance there on SmackDown, and it could only have happened on the B show. It wouldn't have happened on Raw.
So sadly, all I'm going to say, people, is for a while you're going to see the same kind of main events. You can see it continuously for a while because until someone returns or they somehow have SmackDown by Raw wrestlers or something like that, then you're going to be stuck with this.
Yeah. Is that pretty much all we have to say, isn't it now, MJ? Unless you have anything else to say.
SmackDown is sucking even more, that's it.
Yeah, it's going to get very stale soon unless WWE drastically change some of the rivalries around, which they should have done using the draft, but they failed at that. So that's really the last chance they had. SmackDown being the B show and being the tape show, though, I guess it's... I don't know. That's
but they still want to draw money. They still want to draw fans onto SmackDown. I think they're going to struggle.
To be honest, evidence of this has been seen by the fact that apparently SmackDown shows attendances have been going down, and ticket sales have been going down. They've even had to cancel some shows because of this, which is a big problem now for WWE. I think that'll be a pretty good point to end on.
And I will say, I wish I didn't wear blue for SmackDown because it was awful, it was bad, and I don't like it.
Oh, yeah, well, we still review it, but
we do review it.
I'm wearing blue as well, so maybe I should wear red. I need
red.
a red shirt like John Cena. Sorry, I had to put a John Cena reference in there. But anyway, that's been it from us. Make sure you leave your comments down below, your thoughts on the feuds, and do you think there's a lack of baby faces or too many heels and not enough credible main event heels as well. Make sure you put your thoughts down below. We want to hear your thoughts, even video responses if you have some thoughts on this. That has been it from us, the British Fist. And I want another what's up, NJ.
What's up?
Nice one. That has been it from us as NJ gives us his what's up. Thank you very much for watching our videos once again, and goodbye.